Good morning. Good morning. It's very early, so a lot of people are not up yet, but I just wanted to come on and say hello. I'm having my coffee this morning. So if you are having a little coffee with me, that would be amazing. If not, if you're still sleeping, I will have a sip of this hazelnut coffee in your honor. Wow. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. So there are a few items that have come out from the Gambia that I want to share. Good morning to those who are joining. As you pop into the chat, say hello, say good morning or good afternoon wherever you are, so that I can say hi to you as well. This isn't going to be super long, but there are some very important news items that are coming out of the Gambia. Oh, Musa, hi, good afternoon. Hi. That I want to share. So there are some important news items that have come out. So number one, the cease and desist between Phoenix Rain, Kwesi Boyd, and Art Cathey has officially ended. So there was a cease and desist put in place so that they would no longer discuss one another on social media. They would no longer make accusations regarding each other. And it was supposed to be an act of good faith. However, I can confirm that the cease and desist has officially ended. No, I am not in Gambia. So the cease and desist is over, it's finished, and this is going to cause the release of much more information than what we've been getting in the last few weeks. The second news item is that the Exodus Alliance, the group that was mediating the dispute between Phoenix, Art, and Kwesi, have now appeared to reach a decision. And the Exodus Alliance, from all of the news sources that I have and that I'm getting, it appears that the Exodus Alliance is going to rule in favor of Kwesi Boyd. Let me repeat that. The Exodus Alliance, which is the third-party organization that has been mediating the dispute between the parties, has now appeared to have concluded the investigation into Art Cathey and Kwesi Boyd in the Gambia, and they are siding with Kwesi Boyd. Now, if you are surprised by this development, let me know in the chat. But I have to tell you, I am not surprised at all that the ruling has come in favor of Kwesi Boyd, and I will tell you why. In my video where I did the breakdown of Kwesi Boyd's verbal and nonverbal communication, where I analyzed him on film, I told you that Kwesi Boyd was sending a message that he was a very powerful man and that he had lots of connections in the Gambia. In fact, I have talked to online in different comments, I have talked to a few people who are said to know Kwesi personally. They know his brothers-in-law in the Gambia. And what I have been told is that Kwesi is very well connected politically and financially in the Gambia. So I am not at all surprised that the Exodus Alliance appears to be moving in his favor. In fact, I think it may have been a setup from the beginning, because I don't quite frankly think that KnK was ever going to be able to have the same standing as Cathey. She's a woman, she's a foreigner in a predominantly Islamic country. She had no connections there beyond Cathey. So it just didn't seem to me that it was going to ever go in her favor. And I actually thought that it was quite foolish of Phoenix Rain to even get involved in the mediation. I think if she had proof that Cathey did something illegal, then she should have gone to the government and filed a lawsuit or criminal charges or whatever. But going through a mediation and a third party, it let me know that Phoenix is not a businesswoman in that regard. That's no offense to Phoenix, but a businesswoman would not make that kind of move if she has proof of illegal activities. So her going through the mediation, it appears to not have worked out in her favor, and that is why our Cathey is now unleashed. She is ready to fight. She's ready to go head to head with Phoenix Rain, and I can tell you there's going to be a lot coming out against Phoenix Rain. Now, you know, here over at the African Diaspora Digest, we are impartial third-party observers. We are critical thinkers. We are not on any one side, okay? This is not about choosing a side and rolling with that side. I, in my investigation, determined that Phoenix knew a lot more than what she told us. And a lot of people didn't like it that I said that. A lot of people were coming for me, and now it's coming out that Phoenix, in fact, is the one who is running the business accounts. She's the one who has access to the money, allegedly. And this has been through her own mouth that she said she set up the accounts. It's online and it's on video. So if you are the one who set up the accounts and you are the one who is running the accounts, I don't know how that's going to go. Hi, Think for Yourself. Good morning. Tell me in the chat what you think about this latest development. Number one, the cease and desist between Cathey, Phoenix, and Art has now been called off. Number two, the Exodus Alliance has appeared to rule in favor of Cathey Boyd. And the third piece of this is that Phoenix has now gone onto Facebook and she is making posts where she is quite upset and angry. And she is saying that people are going to bring the DMV out of her and it's going to be on site. For those of you who are not from the West, on site is a typical phrase that people will use to indicate that if they see someone in person, things can go down, if you know what I mean. So Phoenix appears to be highly upset about the most recent developments. She's not pleased with what has happened, and it's really unclear of where she can go with this. And in my assessment, I don't think Phoenix has a case, guys. And if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know. But I don't think Phoenix really has a case, and I think that's why she didn't go the legal route. Remember, when she first came out, and people were cheerleading her and people were just running with her story, and oh, Phoenix is just telling the truth, and oh, Phoenix just is breaking all the rules and she's opening the doors. But when we really think about it, what did she tell us? That Cathey is a womanizer? Okay, sure. But where is the illegal activity? Where are the bones buried? And I haven't seen anything from Phoenix that is convincing enough that would pass the law. I don't see it. Someone says Phoenix, oh, actually, let me just put this on the screen. Phoenix just got there. Why was she the one to set up the accounts? They should have already been set up before she got there. Very interesting. Someone Almitha, was that you who commented on my page about the wag the dog theory? Because someone on my page recently commented that they, and this is something that I had not thought of, but that they believe Phoenix was actually set up to be the fall guy, that Art Cathey and Kwesi may have allegedly already been involved in different activities. They needed someone to put the blame on, and so essentially they decided to bring in a patsy. Almitha, are you able to jump on this call with me really quickly to explain your comment? I would like to hear about it in detail, actually. And if you're drinking coffee this morning, or if it's afternoon for you, cheers to you. I'm having hazelnut coffee. So if you are sipping on anything good, let me know. I feel like I'm really an adult now because I drink coffee regularly. When I was young, I always thought that drinking coffee was the sign of a really old person. And now I also drink coffee in the morning. Yeah, so Almitha, let me know if you are able to come on to explain your theory about wagging the dog. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me know if you're willing to come on to explain your theory. This isn't going to be a long live. This is just a short breaking news piece that I wanted to share. So if you don't know about the Exodus Alliance, the Exodus Alliance is an organization that was created specifically to help those folks who are repatriating. Hi, Coresa. Ooh, she says your voice. You should look into doing voiceover, sis. I love it. Oh, hearts to you. Thank you. If you know how I can get into that, please send me information. That sounds very fun. And for anyone out there who has an idea about what's going on and wants to hop on the panel to share your thoughts really quickly, that's fine as well. For those folks who are just coming into the chat, hello, happy Sunday, bon dimanche, hello, hello, hi, good day. Everywhere in the world, wherever you are welcome here. So I am saying hello. Think for Yourself says, isn't Exodus Alliance another investment club? So they don't call themselves an investment club. That's a great question. They don't call themselves an investment club. And remember, because this is a news channel, we have to be very exact about the wording that we use. So they have indicated that they are an organization that is dedicated to assisting those who are repatriating to the Senegambia region. And there appear to be investment aspects, but they have not specifically said we are an investment organization. So I'm going to refer to them as what I have seen them refer to themselves and what they are known for online. There can be many facets of one organization. For example, if you have a corporation, you have a legal department, you have a philanthropy department, you have a marketing department, you have a customer support department. So there can be many departments in one organization. Great question. Almitha, I'm going to put the call out for you. If you want to explain your theory about what has happened, let me know and you can hop on the panel. African Pride says, no wonder AC just did an hour-and-a-half video explaining herself. Exactly. Art Cathey has now taken the gloves off. She has made 2 videos. The first video is an hour-and-a-half. The second video is 45 minutes. She was absolutely infuriated because she has been sitting back and waiting to make her move. So Art Cathey has been playing the role. Now, here's a piece that you may have missed, and I want to bring it to your attention. In the video, Art Cathey actually showed her hand. And you might say, what do you mean? Well, it turns out that Kwesi Boyd was actually playing Cathey the whole time. And this comes from Cathey's mouth. Cathey said that Kwesi Boyd kept her in the dark about so many things that were going on. She said that he did not even reveal to her the extent of his dealings and his relationship with Phoenix, which, as you know, I broke that on this channel, that Cathey was not in the loop about everything happening with Phoenix because Phoenix was there to be her replacement, and Cathey was not having it. Cathey also revealed that she had expressed to Kwesi that the contract she signed with him, she would be ending it after the last 30 days. She decided that she would not renew her contract with Kwesi Boyd. Boom. That's the missing piece, guys. Cathey was on her way out. Phoenix was being brought in to be the new mouthpiece. That's what it's all about. It's about the queen bee getting ready to be replaced. Cathey refused to speak to Phoenix. She refused to talk to Phoenix. She refused to have any dealings with her because she knew that she knew that Phoenix Rain was there to step into her role. So if you notice throughout the video, Cathey reveals that she's a very shallow person. She talks at length about how Phoenix Rain doesn't look as good as her, how her body is not as tight as hers. And so this helps you understand mentally where Cathey is as a person and as a human being. Cathey still has the mindset of an 18-year-old girl who thinks that her body is all that she needs to get through life. Cathey doesn't realize that she is now a 50-something-year-old woman, and now her body is not going to get her out of these various situations. And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee while I open up this next piece of news for you. And if you are sipping on anything good, I'm sipping on hazelnut coffee. If you are sipping on anything good, let me know in the comments below. And let me know what you think about these stories. I woke up early just to share them with you. So show your girl some love. Now, Cathey revealed a few other things in her video that I want to call out. Cathey revealed that she was a pimp. She revealed that she has a very long history of pimping Black women. Let that sink in. And you're going to say, what do you mean she was a pimp? Remember my first video where I said that it was possible that there were elements of trafficking and different elements involved? Well, Cathey is now sharing some of her history with us. And now we know that Cathey once had a business where she was in charge of women who were hired to be cleaners or maids. People don't like to use maids anymore, but cleaners, cleaning women. And her idea and business proposition was that not only would these women clean the houses of her clients, but they would clean the houses without any clothes on. Think about that. Cathey decided to go into business where effectively she was serving as a pimp and a madam of other Black women. And she talked about the women's bodies as if they were property. Cathey said in her own video that she would have to inspect the women. She would have to make them bend over. She would have to make them show their body parts because she had to ensure that their body was in perfect condition. Now, you all told me, DJ, our Cathey, she's a goddess. She's a vegan. She couldn't be involved in that. That's what you told me on my video about her. And now it's all coming to the light that Art Cathey has a very long history of using the bodies of other Black women to make money. And you want me to believe that she wasn't going to do the same thing in the Gambia? You want me to believe that she wasn't going to get those cute girls, 18 and older, let's say, in the Gambia? Notice how everywhere Art Cathey goes, she opens a cleaning business. A cleaning business. But we know that Art Cathey doesn't like to clean. We've seen her apartment. We see that she believes that she's entitled to maids and things like that. So Art Cathey herself doesn't like to clean. So why do you open up cleaning businesses everywhere you go? Could those cleaning businesses be fronts for other businesses? For example, here in this region of the world, you might see something called a massage parlor where more than massages are given. So you mean to tell me Art Cathey was running a cleaning business where she hired only women based on their bodies and their looks, and she lined them up like pieces of meat and bent them over and inspected them like they were nothing more than objects? And then she sold them, sold their services to men by the hour, where they would clean houses completely nude. I may not be the smartest woman in the world, but do you think all they were doing was cleaning? Or is cleaning a euphemism for something else? Is cleaning just the front title of the business when actually there's much more going on? I'm going to go into the comments. Art Cathey has a lot of nerve calling Black women B's and G's, but yet she has no qualms about bragging about being capable of stealing another woman's man or being interested in married men. That's correct. She has no qualms about being with married men. She's been very open about that. So I'm just asking the question, when we look at those videos that she made with Kwesi Boyd of the women cleaning in tight dresses, do you know any cleaning women that clean in high heels and tight dresses? Or is cleaning just another phrase for the real business that's going on? You see, Art Cathey, she's an old school pimp, okay? She doesn't like women to talk back. See, Art Cathey wouldn't like a woman like me, okay? She doesn't like a woman that talks too much. See, if you're a woman and you're around Art Cathey, you have to be quiet. You have to be silent, because Art Cathey thinks you are there to serve her and her male clients. African Pride says her second video was taking it out on the Gambians as if they have offended her. And for everyone out there, if you have thoughts on this breaking development, let me know and I will drop the link in the chat. So I'm not going to make this long. I'm going to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. It's Sunday. I'm just having my coffee, but I needed to make sure that you all are informed of what is going on. Our Cathey has now revealed the real deal, and there's more to come. So if you're just joining, and there's quite a few people that are here, good morning, good afternoon, bonjour, bonsoir, buenos dias, buenas tardes, hi, how are you to everyone? Art Cathey, there's news that has now come out. Number one, the cease and desist has been called off between her, Phoenix Rain, and Kwesi Boyd. They are now able to publicly speak on one another again. Number two, the Exodus Alliance, the organization that was mediating the dispute between Phoenix Rain, Art Cathey, and Kwesi Boyd, have now apparently ruled in favor of Kwesi Boyd. They are going to be releasing info in the next couple of weeks, but essentially they are now saying there's no statement yet. That's what I'm getting to. So they're going to be releasing information in the next couple of weeks, but essentially it appears that the Exodus Alliance has now ruled in favor of Mr. Kwesi Boyd. They have not found evidence of any particular wrongdoing. Phoenix Rain is very upset. She's on Facebook saying that it's on site. She's saying that she doesn't trust anyone. She is highly upset. If I were Phoenix, I would be thinking about getting out of the Gambia. I'm just going to hold no punches on that. Phoenix is not, she's not in a good position, guys. Phoenix is in a very dangerous position. Remember how we talked about pieces on the chessboard? Well, right now, Phoenix is in a pawn position. If you play chess, it's all about mental. You're in a pawn position when you don't have power. Phoenix right now has no power. She is literally being placed in a position where she has no control. And in fact, Kwesi is able to roll up on Phoenix at any time, any place. And in all actuality, Kwesi doesn't even need to handle Phoenix at this point. Kwesi has so many connections in Gambia that he can have someone else deal with her. He could have another woman deal with her. He could have the authorities deal with her. I mean, honestly, Kwesi Boyd has placed himself in a much tighter position than Phoenix Rain. Yes, I also just broke the news that we can now confirm Art Cathey had a cleaning company in the West, where she's from, where the women were required to clean the houses of male clients with no clothes on. And I have said before that my spirit told me that Art Cathey was a pimp, and people didn't like what I had to say, but I stood by what I had to say. And now the information is coming out that Art Cathey has a very long history of pimping and abusing women. You see, Art Cathey is like a man in a woman's body, if that makes sense. Art Cathey does not identify with women. Art Cathey does not see herself as another woman. She sees herself as the queen bee in the beehive. Bzz, bzz. You see what I'm saying? She's the queen bee. She's watching. That's what she's doing. Her job is to keep you in line. That's her position, to make sure you're taking care of the men. See, Art Cathey, she's playing the role that Kwesi gave her. I told you in my video, breaking down the psychological mentality of Art Cathey, that Art Cathey is simply playing a role. I told you that when she did her videos, our Cathey was not alone. And some of you disagreed with me, and that's totally fine. But our Cathey herself said on video today that many times when she was filming, Kwesi was right there in the background with her. Good morning, Blaze. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, the news is just coming out. I was going to break the news about KnK Squad. I said last night they needed to get out of Gambia. They needed to run. They needed to get out. And apparently they are out. They're back in America. I will have more coming on that a little bit later this week. But yes, the KnK Squad are back in America. It was not feasible for them to stay in Ghana. They were going to have a price on their head very soon. What I keep trying to tell repats and what I keep trying to get across to Black Americans and other people from the diaspora, Africa is not a playground. Let me repeat that. Africa is not a playground. You are going to find out that Africa has its own rules and its own playbooks. And yes, we understand that there are 52 countries in Africa. Yes, we know that. But in general, there is a different playbook on the continent than there is in the West. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to respond to some comments. Omar Kamara, Assalamu alaikum. He says, Kwesi has no such power in Gambia. Gambia probably has the lowest criminal records in the whole world, so he can't find someone to carry out his mischief for him in Gambia, especially abusing women. Well, thank you for your comment, Omar. I would beg to differ, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. Everyone's opinion is respected here. Everyone is welcome here. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. Okay, we've got a lot of comments coming in. And just to let you know, if you are interested in hopping on the call with me really quick, I'm not going to keep this long. I'm going to wrap up in the next 5 or 10 minutes. But if you do want to jump on the call very quickly to share your thoughts or any ideas or thoughts you have on this, let me know. I will drop the link in the chat. So yes, the Exodus Alliance has now pretty much ruled in favor of Kwesi Boyd, and he is very well connected through his brothers-in-law. I have it on very good intelligence that Kwesi has multiple wives with brothers-in-law that are very powerful in the Gambia. That is how Kwesi has been able to move the way he's moving. So trust me, there's more than you think to that. Question, is Art Cathey and Kwesi still in Gambia? We don't know. So we don't know that. That was going to be one of the things that I wanted to bring up, is that we don't know the exact location of Kwesi Boyd. He has now completely gone underground. We have not heard from him. We have not seen him. We do know that him and I believe his name is Gibby, may have gone their separate ways. So it appears that there is a lot going on in Kwesi Boyd's world, but we don't know the exact locations. And anyone telling you that they know is probably just hearsay. We don't have any proof of where they are. Okay. Were Art and Kwesi dating? Art said she is pregnant. Is Kwesi the father? Well, here's the thing. So Art, because of her psychology, Art doesn't see herself as a normal woman. And that's what I really want you all to understand. Art Cathey sees herself as a pimp, as a madam, and as the queen on the chessboard. She uses women to carry out her aims. That's why it's so dangerous for us to allow her to spread her message without raising the red flag. Cathey is a woman who will be the first to pimp another woman out. She will be the first to sell another woman. So I don't know that Cathey is pregnant. This is just me reading a question. I have not heard her say that. But what I'm saying is the psychology of Cathey is that she is not a normal woman. And now it's all come out that she has been pimping women for a very long time. KnK squad gone. Yes, the KnK squad have returned to America. They recently made a video called Team America, and they are now explaining why they left Ghana. As you know, in one of my videos, plug, I said that the year of return was a scam and that it was all about money. And the KnK squad are now beginning to share exactly what the scam was. They have started releasing pictures of celebrities at these elaborate African Ghanaian ceremonies, and they're starting to show how it was all a game to get Black American dollars to Ghana. And so that's what I was saying. The year of return was a hustle. The year of return was about selling your culture back to you. So we're going to, on my channel, start really breaking down what happened. I have a series that I'm developing right now on what really happened during the transatlantic slave trade. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. You're not going to like me after this. And I'm sorry for that, but I have to share this education and this knowledge with the world. Because I, for one, am a very proud woman. I am proud of my people. I am proud of where I come from. And I cannot let our history be erased. So if you ask me, why do you care about this? Why are you talking about something that happened 400 years ago? Well, I will tell you why. Because the blood of my ancestors runs in my veins today. The blood of my ancestors, I can feel it in my body right now. And I cannot let their stories go untold. So as long as I am here, the story of my people will be told. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to get into some deep history about what has really happened, because we only learn the surface history in school. They don't teach us everything that we need to know. And as we are connecting with Africans from the continent, we also need to teach them our history. How do you think it is possible for a Gambian to know all the intricacies of the transatlantic slave trade? They don't know what happened on the breeding farms. They don't know what happened on the plantations. They don't know our relationship to these people. So we need to start telling that story. I know it's uncomfortable. I know we want to believe that we were all kings and queens, but I've got a news flash for you. We were not all kings and queens. Some people were servants. Some people were poor. Most people were in tribes that were fighting one another. And when that tribe had the opportunity to sell you and get rid of you, they did. Oh, yes, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. This history cannot be hidden. Ruth says, the story of your people has already been told by many, but only a few listen. Well, count me among that, Ruth. I'm going to be another one telling the story because it's important. It informs every bit of who we are, and we cannot let this go under the rug. For example, I created a video that was too hot for YouTube, okay? And it was talking about how Sarah Bartman and how we now have Meg the Stallion as a new incarnation of Sarah Bartman. And if you know of Sarah Bartman, you will know that she was a Khoi woman from South Africa with a very voluptuous body. And she was going to be sold into slavery, and she was, by the Dutch. But when they saw the beauty of this Black woman's body, when they saw the shapeliness of this Black woman's body, they said, oh no, we have to take her to France. We have to take her to London. We have to put her in a cage and show all people the gloriousness of the Black woman's body. And she was paid pennies. They used her body in scientific studies. They used her body to make money. They used her body for their own pleasure. And they studied her and they kept her in the Musée de l'Homme, in Paris. Nelson Mandela had to get her body back. So this is an important history. Marcel says, hi sis, don't say all Gambians. We know your African American history, okay? If you want, fight for Art Cathey, please, you are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you. I'm so glad that you know our history, and we're going to keep teaching it. We will never forget. We will continue to educate. At my heart, I am an educator. Yes, I am. Almitha says, thank you. This is the truth. We were captured and sold by warring tribes. Yes, that is correct. We're going to talk about that. I am a scholar. I won't go into all the details of that, but I am educated on this topic. Yes. And that's another thing. When I am here to share knowledge, fact check the knowledge. There's no problem with that. When I'm speaking something that is my opinion, I will be very clear, hey, this is what I think. When I'm speaking something that is a historical fact, you can fact check it. So it's not about me, the person, it's about the facts. So this is a channel where we're going to be sharing news. And at my heart, at my core, I am an educator, and I will use this channel to educate. We don't know who may come across these videos. You may say, hey, I know all this information. That's awesome. But there are some people in the world who don't. So please understand this is a learning experience. Henrietta Lacks, body used for research as well. Absolutely. They used her body to study cervical cancer. They used her body to create all sorts of medicines. They study our bodies. Omar says, drop the link. Okay, I will do that. Let me get the link. A documentary was released a week ago on BBC. Can you put that link in the channel? Ilimobade says, I think you are just discovering this information that is well known to African intellectuals. No, I'm not just discovering it. I'm just now on YouTube sharing it. This is information that I've known for a very long time, but you have to understand the internet has made it possible for us to now share information all across the world. So now this information is going to be shared on a global scale. Thank you for your comment. They were jealous of Sarah's body because they exaggerated it and made her obese. She was actually very shapely, who had the thin waist ideal people. Absolutely. She was stunningly gorgeous. Let me get this link ready. So we're going to have a brief intermission. Go get your drinks. Go get your coffee. Take a break. Have a sip of water. And I'm going to get this link ready. 1 second. Okay, the link is there. Thank you, Rich Roots. Thank you. I was able to copy it, so thank you so much. Lamine, I don't think Africans are ignorant at all, actually. I think it's going to be powerful to have both Africans and Black Americans sharing this knowledge. So I think this is going to be a powerful learning platform. Okay, so I have dropped the link. I believe it was Omar Kamara who wanted to join. And if you're someone else who wants to join and share your thoughts, please do. So if you're just joining, we have quite a few people on the broadcast. Quick recap, there's a lot of news coming out of the Gambia, but to sum it up, Kwesi Boyd has been vindicated by the Exodus Alliance from what we know so far. And let's see, we have a guest coming.
Yo. Hello. Hello.
Hi,
Yes, I'm very good.
Hi, can you get on camera so that we can see?
No, this is in the dark place. My Annie Bewley. Hey, check this out. I think I got Cathey's hiding a bag. My biggest fan, the biggest supporter, Rick. That's where she must be hiding. You know? Because nobody else can find her. You know? And Rick and Sweet Juicy Mama something, whatever. They'll be hiding her. So that's what I think. I think you know where she is. They're just not telling anybody. What's up, Mr. Mukisa? How you doing?
Hi,
you
Mr.
Good?
Mukisa. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You're
Good.
Mr. Mukisa.
Excuse me.
How you doing, brother?
Wait, 1 second. Let me just catch everyone up to speed. We have Mr. Mukisa on the line. We have Omar Kamara. Omar, can you say hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And we have another gentleman on the line. Mr. Makisa, why don't you introduce yourself and then share your thoughts on anything we've discussed for 5 minutes?
Oh, okay. Actually, I need to go and get some headphones because I'm outdoors. So can you just like give me 5 minutes to get headphones, and the other person can do some talking. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Okay,
You
Omar,
want me to
go
talk?
ahead. Omar, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, my name is Omar. Basically what I want to say is I can understand African Americans getting upset with sometimes with Africans when it comes to the history, but also you have to understand that Africans, I know some Africans don't really want to talk about it, but the truth of the matter is Africans were involved in slavery way before Europeans, you know, and also their own model of slavery was different from the Europeans. Africans on their model of slavery back then was like you have a family that that belongs to a king or a chief or whatsoever, and this particular family they work for this king and chiefs. That's their own model of slavery. Their own model of slavery was not to beat people, was not to put people in plantation and all of that, you know. So you guys really have to understand when you talk about African model of slavery. When you talk about European model of slavery, you have to separate these two, because otherwise people are going to think Africans were that much cruel to their own brothers and sisters, which is not totally not fair. Slavery, in fact, was not just practiced in Africa alone. Slavery was all around the world. Even Europeans were enslaving each other before they even came to Africa. You go to Middle East, people were enslaving each other. At some point in time in history, in the whole world, slavery was the order of the day. Not just in Africa, not just Africans enslaved each other. Europeans enslaved each other. Middle East, the Arabs, they enslaved each other. You know, but this is part of our history. We cannot run away from it. So we have to embrace it. And also, you have to what African Americans have to understand is that some Africans, like they literally came from the victims, like the family of the victims. For example, some families, their loved ones were taken from them and they couldn't do anything about it, right? So if you want to blame the whole continent for slavery, something, some of them are totally ignorant of, or some of them are the victims, I should say. Yeah. So if you want to blame everybody in the continent, I think it will be totally unfair. Slavery back then was done by chiefs, and also tribes enslaved each other. Back then it was about like power. People exercise power and influence on each other. So if you are from a powerful tribe and you have a lot of influence in the community, you tend to take advantage of the less privileged.
Yeah. Can I just add one thing? Just one
Yeah.
bit
No.
to that point.
Okay. Yeah.
I know there's all this crap which goes on here. Oh, Africans sold you. But some of you are descendants of people who were selling each other, because people were selling each other, and some of the very people there, part of the diaspora are descendants of the very slave traders. Because some people were selling, were also taken. That's the one thing many of you try to miss.
Absolutely. That is very, very true.
You miss, so you keep going and pointing fingers. Yet some of you are there. You carry those genes of us who betrayed the snakes, those who betrayed their own people. It wasn't all just one person. Everybody was taken. People were taken. People were taking each other. One day,
can I come in there? Can I come in there?
Wait 1 second. So let's keep a little bit of order. We definitely want everyone to have an opportunity to talk.
Let me just say 2 more things.
Okay. So we want everyone to have an opportunity to speak. And so the way that we can do that is by allowing other people to talk. This isn't about pointing fingers or blaming anyone. This is about sharing true history. And we're going to get into that much more. Mr. Makisa, would you mind introducing yourself and then sharing any thoughts you have on any of the topics we've covered for about 5 minutes, please?
Okay, so can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not versed in like the slave history, so but I'm just here to discuss the Cathey situation. I think a lot of points you hear are very pivotal in that you're assessing her psychology and you're doing it very, very thoroughly, which I appreciate. A lot of people who are following her fail to appreciate that she makes every opportunity to say she is of your stock, but not of you. She takes every opportunity to elevate herself above you. She is coming at her supporters in so many different ways. They are so enamored by her, they can't even tell she is actively dissing them every single time. She designates herself amongst the brilliant, and then she puts every other subset as the brain dead or the average. She tells you right there she does not identify with you. She tells you, some of you guys have no way of ever ascending to her level. So as to why anyone's even following her ideologies makes no sense, because she tells you there's always going to be the brilliant sector, which is the smallest share of them, and the rest of us are going to be brain dead or average. So why are you investing in her dream if she tells you right there that you guys are going to be her pawns? Like, they're not really deeping what she's saying, and it's like, it's just getting sick. She's taken every opportunity to say she's a goddess, and I'm very, very big on individuals who play into the goddess, into the like they've been posited by a higher power sort of situation, especially when you're garnering money, because it just starts to come off as if you're utilizing that spiritual rhetoric to, you know, just get money, which is very, very sick. I think I've made a comment on a separate occasion, but a lot of these people who conduct themselves, because I'm not saying she's a scammer, okay? I'm saying people who conduct themselves like scammers, in especially because I'm in the West, I'm from the UK, we are very privy to African American media. It's very, very visible form of media, especially we get that a lot here, okay? So I'm not just someone who is like just finding out about your type of media for the first time. I'm privy to a lot of ways that people get money from your communities. And I know that one way they do that is they control how you view your image in relation to American history and to spirituality. So they have to try and convince you how much you've been stripped of to tell you that they're your savior. And that's the vantage point they use. They tell you, you guys are nothing. In so many ways they do. They tell you guys are nothing. You guys need to invest in our stuff so that we can make you go back to being something, which is very, very horrible. And that's why I don't like when people dislike that we come for Art Cathey, because I'm an African, but I'm coming at her because I see what she's doing to you as a people. She is manipulating so many different sects of people, pitting them against each other, that people are failing to see what she's doing. She's actually trashing both people. She's trashing communities on both continents. She's saying the African American are brain dead. She is saying you guys are nothing without her. She's saying you guys have damaged wombs and all of this stuff. She's impressing so many toxic ideologies and like psychological attacks on you guys that it's just not fair. And it's something that I've seen consistently is that when they get money from you, they have to say how much you guys are not. And it works every single time. We see repeatedly that they get money here, they get money there. I'm just trying to think of an example. I want to think of a very, very specific example, not something that she has said in particular. Oh, it's going to take me a second, but oh, I know there's so many examples because I know that I thought about it for a lot of time, you know. But it's just very, very important that people know they are something, okay? We are very proud of you. I am proud of everyone in the diaspora. I'm proud of the Melanesians, the Fijians, you know, the people who have Afro KnK, you know, people who have like the similar phenotype. I'm proud of all of that, okay? And we're something, whether the people upon us tell us or not. These people who acquire spaces of influence, a lot of them have low self-esteem. They are looking for a way to feel wanted. And that's why people have to watch them, because they are going to construct their self-esteem on you guys being lower. That's why it is imperative she continues to tell you you are the brain dead, because her self-esteem is contingent on someone being lower. You guys don't need Art Cathey to be somebody. In the similar way, Gambians have a lot of work to do on their country. I'm not gonna lie. It's true. I'm African. We have a lot of work to do on the continent. We have so much to do. We have to protect the women. We have to protect the children. We have to like also instill in our men that we are something too. We have something to protect. A lot of people don't know what they have to lose. We have everything to lose by not returning to a point where we have some self-worth, and that we don't, and if we don't like self-actualize ourselves, we're doomed to be repeating the same mistakes. A lot of us are navigating this world as if we have nothing to lose, and that's why we're going to fail every single time, because we have everything to lose by not realizing we are the most attacked race of people on this planet. It's time to start waking up. People have to stop. We have to start navigating this world as if we've got everything to lose. We're losing a lot of things. We're losing resources. We're losing our spirituality. We're losing all sense of self. And this is another point I wanted to touch on as well. It's the whole Sarah Bartman point you brought on, and the connection you have made to Megan Thee Stallion. I think someone else has actually made a connection between her and Beyonce, because Beyonce did that photo years ago where she had like popped out her butt and stuff, and it was similar to a depiction they had made of like Sarah Bartman. It's very dangerous how people are navigating, how people are peddling the world with their sexuality nowadays. It's not safe at all. I am someone who used to get validation in how I was perceived by the world, you know? I would like that people said my body looked good in a vest, do you understand?
Yeah.
It's very dangerous to peddle the world with your sexuality, because it's toxic for the people who look up to you, and it's also no good way to view yourself. And if you do want to express your sexuality, there's alternative versions to do so, you know? There are better ways to express your femininity than showing your bare ass, you know?
Absolutely. And that's a very good point, because the Black woman has been placed in a position where she has literally been reduced to her buttocks, literally been reduced to her breast. And so we're going to break that down further in more theories, but let me ask you, so are you at all surprised that the Exodus Alliance appears to be siding with Kwesi Boyd? And what do you think is the next step that Phoenix should take here now that it's not in her favor?
She needs to get out of there. I'm sorry, but it's not looking good for her. I can quite clearly see how things are gonna take a turn. Like, the perception's not in her favor. I think what they've continued to this is something very, very surface level, but what they've continued to perpetuate, that this woman came to the Gambia without a family and all of this stuff. I really feel like they're gonna like come and say this woman's a lesbian or something. Like, it's just gonna like, don't you feel like that? Don't you feel like it's because a lot of the way they're conducting themselves, it seems like there's some innuendos, some like sexual stuff going on. So I just feel like it's time for her to get out of there, you know? Like, America, you know, you're always gonna have a home. Like, Black people's homes wherever they lay their heads, okay? We're the first people of the planet, okay? But she needs to go where she's like familiar and comfortable with, and that would be the US. She needs to go back, okay? They have not ruled in her favor. She needs to go to a jurisdiction where she understands the laws, and also where she understands her environment. She doesn't understand the Gambia. She only just flipping got there. Phoenix, I know you want to say Facebook, get back. Yeah, exactly. Like, the idealism, I agree with you on all the stuff you said about the things being like the year of return being one big hoax. I have said that for the longest, but I also agree that it's an idea that's been perpetuated by the most elite echelons of society on both continents. I don't think for 1 second the average everyday Ghanaian knows it's a scam. It's something that because the country's being siphoned for all the money it has. You can clearly see in the state of parts of the countries all over Africa, that funds we're meant to be getting for our infrastructure are clearly not going to our infrastructure.
Absolutely.
So it's like, oh, I'll just leave a comment in your video, precisely what I mean by what it's like, it's a scam. But essentially, it's what you see. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't seem to be a legitimate business. Just so many different things. Oh, I don't want to get into it. I'd rather just leave a comment. But yeah.
Yes, leave a comment. Let me allow some other folks to speak, but I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts. You've definitely given us some food for thought. Musa, I saw that you wanted to come on, so please rejoin so that you can speak as well. Justice Love, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, can you please introduce yourself and then spend roughly 5 minutes sharing your thoughts on any of the topics that we've covered?
Yes, I go by the name, of course, Justice Love. And I just wanted to be on here just briefly. I just wanted to say that I think that the topic about Quasi, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, or our Cathey, I think it's like long drawn out. I think we need to find solutions. I think we need to fix the unity of coming together. You know, all of this thing about Art Cathey giving attention to what she's saying and what she's doing, it's not going to stop. Anybody that wants to use this platform for whatever reason and say for whatever they want to say can do it. There's nothing no one can do about it. So I think that we need to not focus on Art Cathey, not focus on Quasi Boy, but I think we need to focus on what is at hand, and that is getting together in unity, you know, finding solutions for the motherland. You know what I'm saying? For the ones that are coming back to the motherland, you know, we all need to get together in unity and love and work together, because the only way that we're going to make progress is through unity and working together, and no longer looking at all this other stuff, because it's just a distraction. You know what I'm saying? And it's, to me, it's just, I mean, we can get on here so many times and talk about this situation, but where is it going to take us? It's going to make more people angry. Everybody got their own view, their own feelings on it. And it takes us away from the main focus of what we should be doing, and that is working together. Let her be, let him be, and let us all just get together and work together. Because, you know, we're being watched by the white supremacists. We're being listened to every day. Everybody that get on these platforms and talk about what we should be doing or whatever, you know, anything that got to do with unity and love and getting together, we're being watched. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing that we need is to be distracted with other stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got enough going on around us, rather than getting to this thing about Quasi and Art Cathey. I don't know if I'm making sense or coming across, or if you guys understanding what I'm saying, but we need to move forward, not backwards. We need to stay positive, and we need to stay focused on what we really need to do. And that is to come together in unity and love, you know, and make a difference. And all this other stuff is just gossipy. And I'm not saying this towards you, the host. I love you, you know, and you're my sister. And I know you have the right to say whatever you want to say and do whatever you want to do on your platform, because this is your channel. With all respect, due respect, no harm intended. But I really believe that this is a worn out situation. You know, it's just worn. I've been going to each, every time I see something about Art Cathey or about us coming together in love and unity, I be there most of the time listening to everyone. It is so much hurt, so much pain, so much confusion. You know, we don't need this. We just need to move forward in love. You know, we need to move forward and make progression in what we're trying to do, and not be distracted by anything else. That's just my take and my view and perspective on this.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Justice Love. As you know, everyone here is absolutely entitled to their opinion and their perspective. I never ask anyone to agree with me. I only ask that we be critical thinkers about the information that we're sharing. And by listening to you, I can tell that you are extremely passionate about your people. And I can tell that you have a heart for people. And so for me, what I hear is that you really want to see unity and you want to see peace. And that is a very noble desire. But as the Bible says, can two walk together unless they agree? For me, I don't seek unity among all people because all people don't have the same values. How can I unify with someone who wants to abuse women when I am not an abuser of women? How can I unify with someone who wants to exploit the bodies of Black women when I do not agree with Black women being exploited? So to ask us to unify with the same people who are hurting us, who are destroying us, for me is a no-go. Now, if you want to put your daughter in Art Cathey's hands and see how things turn out, then that is on you. But I can tell you, I would not trust any child, any woman, or anything else with someone like Art Cathey. That's just my perspective. And I'm here to shine light on the situation as I see it, because our people are so used to being verbally abused that they think abuse is love. The more that she abuses them, the more money they give her. The more that she talks down to them, the more they worship her, because we have been conditioned through slavery to accept abuse as normal, to accept dysfunction as okay. And it is not okay. And I'm going to use my platform to show that.
But what I'm saying is that I understand, and what you said and everything you say, actually, I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. You said everything right. But what I'm saying is that, she's getting all of this attention, brought to her, and everybody is being distracted, by a lot of people are really being distracted by her. And it kind of make her a little bit powerful. If you're understanding what I'm saying, it's like if you put oil on the fire, it's going to, the fire is going to make the fire more, come alive more. That's the only thing because my mind is kind of full at this moment. Yes, I do have a passion for the people, and I love people, and I love unity. And I know that she's not on the same page as we are. But what I'm trying to say is that she's feeding off of us when we give her that attention, and we have these, talks about her and all this stuff. And I know what you're trying to say, to make the kids aware of what's going on so they won't be followers of her, and that she be an example to our children. I understand exactly what you're saying, but she's not going to stop, is what I'm saying. She's going to continue as long as she can grow her channel, as long as she can get all of this attention, she's going to do it. I don't think it's going to stop.
Okay, got it. Mr. Makisa, do you have any final words in response to what Justice Love has put forward?
Okay. To utilize, first of all, I want to say that I completely respect her opinion. Let me just get this. I completely respect your opinion. I just want to go on with the metaphor you were going on. I think you said put oil or gasoline on a fire. I think I agree with the metaphor, but depending on how we utilize the information, we're not necessarily pouring oil into the fire, but rather we can extinguish it. I think what's going on is that it's not so much gossipy, but I feel like we have a chance to critically inspect how such an obvious, flawed person was able to pull off this elaborate scheme. I think this has really revealed the deficit we have in both men and real men. It's so easy for people like an Art Cathey and a Crazy Boy to construct themselves as the the archetypal man or the archetypal woman. But we can see now there's much the people that they are projecting themselves to be. People continue to into the persona. What we have to do now is inspect why people who are clearly flawed, such as us, as individuals who have gone into Africa and made an absolute shit show, why is it so easy for them to construct themselves as the ideal man and the ideal woman, or not so much the ideal, but the type of man or woman to going around positing herself as the be it all woman, you know, the woman that black men need, the dominating, the one that doesn't bleach her hair and all of this. Yet with all of these natural constructs, she's able to fool particularly African American people. They have bought into that so much so that they are the ones who are investing a large amount of capital into her schemes. We have to really inspect why is it that particular that they adopt works so well. Why is it that people can continue to perpetuate that this type of, you need this type of woman to get this type of result, this type of respectability to type of result. I think what we're doing is that we're working genuinely, as raw and as gossipy as it may seem. We're working with real people now. What this has really done is that it's revealed the visceral reaction that we have in a community where we feel tricked and where we feel that the other side is attacking us. So where we feel that African Americans perhaps don't appreciate what we've gone through and that we feel that they're slighting us. Do you see the reactions that we've given? Sometimes it's been unacceptable. And same to the other side. Sometimes the reactions that African Americans give us have been very, very rude. That's how we work towards a solution, because it's enough of this enough of these false pretenses. People are working as if there's no issues. I think what we're doing now, we can inspect what people's reactions are and we can work with that. This is the most real that I've ever seen the community be. For the first time, we're seeing people, we're all banding together, we all agree that there's an issue. We all agree we actually want criticism of the continent, but we want it to be done in a form where you're not slighting us. We're actually agreeing with the amount of back and forth between the communities. Oh my days, this unity stuff, oh my days, is it in fact false? Let's work towards real unity now. We can work towards real ones because now people are giving opinions on real matters. And that's my take on that. It doesn't have to be gossipy. We just have to utilize it and encourage people to critically think about what they're investing in. That's my take on it.
Absolutely. Well, that is going to put a wrap on that. I appreciate you for coming on, Mr. Mukisa and Justice Love. I'm going to let you two go now so that other folks can come on if they need to, and so that I can wrap up the show. I do appreciate you both sharing your perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Justice? Okay. Wow. Well, that was a powerful conversation, and we have now heard both sides of the story. I want to put a call out. I believe it was you, Marcel, who came on, but you didn't get the opportunity to speak. So if you do want to come on, please go ahead and use the link. I do want you to have an opportunity to say your part. So I'm going to hold off on adding folks that have already been on, just so that we can have other people have an opportunity to say what they would like to say as well. Mark Brown, I see that you have a lot of thoughts about Art Cathey. If you'd like to join the panel to share your thoughts, then you can definitely do that, as far as whether Art Cathey has been proven to do the things that are being alleged. And I'm just going to put the call out again for the gentleman that came on but was unable to speak. If you do still want to have an opportunity to speak, I'm going to leave a few minutes open for you to join, because it's super important that everyone's voice gets to be heard. So I've put the link in the chat if you would like to come. You're welcome, Justice Love. That's what this is about. It's about open dialogue, and that is really what's going to allow us to all evolve in our understanding of what's going on here. So absolutely, you're welcome. Okay. So we're not going to do name calling and things like that, because here what we are really focused on are ideas, concepts, and education, and not attacking individuals. So for those folks who want to name call and degrade other people, that's not what this channel is about. So I will respectfully ask you to find a channel that is more in line with what you want to do. This platform will not be used to degrade people in that way. And in fact, I myself don't participate in that. You've never heard me use profanity against anyone. These are all investigations, and these are for the betterment of the community. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I've given it a few minutes for the gentleman to come on, and he has not. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. This is the latest news out of the Gambia. I will be getting more information for you as it is released. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday morning, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode of the African Diaspora Digest. Bye.